All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to online school. It's going to be super fun, I'm sure. To start off this lovely adventure, we're going to do kind of a review of equations of circles, but also incorporate the completing the square to help us get equations of circles. So if you haven't gotten this assignment yet, get it out. We're going to work through these examples at the beginning here for our lesson, and then we're going to do the last one too, so you can have an extra example with completing the square. So let's start with the first one. If you're going to find the center and radius of a circle given some equation, you have to remember the format that it's given in, which is x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared. And so you're going to look at these numbers here, meaning the h and the k are the hk coordinates of your center. And then r, here's your radius. Hopefully you knew that or remember already. So we're going to look at our equation. It looks like our h value is 3, and then we got 2. But you do have to pay attention to the sign in front. It is supposed to be x minus h and y minus k. So if it doesn't say minus, you have to remember that it makes this the same as y minus negative 2. And so the k value is negative 2 and the h value is 3. So our center is going to be at 3, negative 2. And the radius is a lot easier. Your r is just going to be this square rooted, because that's r squared. So r squared is 81, and you want to square root it. We're not going to be writing out the negative version, because a negative radius doesn't make sense for our realistic circles we have here. So we have the positive version, and voila, you got center and radius. Please don't forget this little format. That's a lot of this stuff is in this format. This is the useful format for graphing and dealing with circles. So we got another one. Write the equation of a circle centered here with radius 4. Well, you're just going to use that setup again. X minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. This is h, this is k, and then r is 4. So we're going to put our numbers in. We got x minus negative 1 squared plus y minus 5. That's a wonderful 5. Squared equals 4 squared. And we'll simplify this to make 16 on the right. We got x plus 1 squared. And then we got y minus 5. Better looking 5, sort of. Oh, let's put the key back on there. Little curl. You got this. The next thing we need to do is we're going to a problem where we write the equation of a circle where we have the endpoints of the diameter. Remember, if you have a circle and a diameter, we're looking at these points here. Well, if you aren't given the center, you have to figure out the center. Luckily, the diameter goes through the center. In fact, the center is halfway between the endpoints of your diameter. So if you get the midpoint of these two, that'll be your center. And in case you forgot how to get midpoint, you're going to take, you're going to do x plus x divided by 2, and you're going to have y plus y divided by 2. You're averaging the coordinates here. And so your center is going to be at negative 1 plus 5, cut in half, and then 5 plus negative 3. Oh, cut in half. So our center hanging out at, let's see, negative 1 plus 5, 4, divided by 2 is 2. And then we got 2 divided by 2, which is 1. Now you have this, you also have to figure out what your radius is, which isn't too bad. You're just trying to go from to one of these points. You can pick which one you want to get, but to get the distance between them, say the center and the point negative 1, 5, you're going to figure out the difference in x's, the difference in y's, and you'll square those up and add them up and square root it. This is Pythagorean theorem or distance formula. So our radius squared is going to be negative 1 minus 2 squared plus 5 minus 1 squared. And that's just subtracting the x's and subtracting the y's to get the difference in y's and x's. So r squared is going to be negative 3 squared, which is 9, and then 4 squared, which is 16, so your r squared is equal to 25. And actually, we don't have to get the radius, we just need the radius squared for our setup. In case you forgot, you look at these other ones, we want this, and we already got radius squared. So now we can write out our equation. Let's do a different color. Purple? No, let's do red. Red's a good one. So we got x minus 2 squared plus y minus 1 squared, and it's going to equal 25, and that's r squared. And we got it. We got 2 more examples we're going to go over. This one's going to require completing the square. So this one, it has the x squares, it has the y squares, it have x's and y's and stuff. It's already set up in an equation, but we need it to look like our old format here. All right, we want it to look like this, so we can identify center, radius, all that good stuff. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take the x things and put them together, and we're going to take the y things and put them together. And with this little subtract 6 on the other side, let's just get rid of them. We'll just throw them on the other side here. And so that's going to give us x squared minus 6x. And I'm going to leave a space because I need to do some completing of the square here. And I'm going to go over and write the y stuff, which is going to be y squared plus 2y. Again, I'm going to leave a space, and it's going to equal 6 on the right side. So what's going on is I'm actually completing the square twice. Once for the x part and then once for the y part. So in case you forgot completing the square, you're going to take this linear term, you're going to cut it in half, and then square it, and that is going to go here. And so we're going to cut negative 6 in half, which is negative 3, square that, it's going to give us 9, so we're going to be adding 9. And just like always, when you have equations, you can't just add a part willy-nilly, you have to add it on the other side too. So we're going to add 9. And we're going to complete the square on the y stuff. So you're going to take your linear term. Again, you're going to cut it in half. And you're going to square that. And you're going to add it here. Half of 2 is 1. Square that, you get 1. So we're going to add 1. I'm going to add 1 over on the right side as well. So now we have an equation that looks like this. Sorry, it kind of goes down like Florida. But each part you can write out, since you complete a square as a binomial squared. We can actually go straight into these things here. Because this part turns into x minus 3 squared. And this number is half a b. It goes there. And then the y portion, add on the y portion, is going to be y plus 1 squared. Again, that's this turned into a binomial squared. And then we are going to simplify the right side here. 6 plus 9 plus 1 is going to give us 16. And we're done. We did it. We got it to look like our the format we're wanting for our equation of our circle. Alright, we're going to do one more example. It's actually from your assignment. It's the last one. So let's go ahead and complete the square with this. Again, I'll try to use color-coded things here. We're going to put the x's together. We're going to put the y's together. And then we're going to get rid of this 9 because we don't need it for our completing the square purposes. And so we're going to write out x part, x squared minus 6x. And then we're going to have the y squared, y squared plus 4y. And then it's going to equal negative 9 on the right. So we're going to go through the completing the square process again on the left side. You're going to take your linear term, cut in half, and square it. And you're going to add that here. This one happens to have the same linear term as our last example. Negative 6 cut in half is negative 3 squared gives you 9. So we're going to add 9. We're going to be adding 9 here on the right side as well. And then for our y's, we're going to take 4, cut in half, square it, And you're going to put that here. 4 cut in half is 2. 2 squared is 4, so we're going to be adding 4. And we're going to add 4 on the right side as well. So on the left side, this piece is the same thing as x minus 3 squared. If you were to redistribute that, you'll get the same thing that's up there. And then we'll have plus y plus 2 squared. Right? This piece goes here. All right, the bell's working. And then on the right side, we're just going to simplify this. Negative 9 plus 4 is 4. Oh, I should switch it to purple. So there's our right side there, and there's completing the square again. So hopefully that gives you a good idea of what to do on your assignment, especially when you get to the completing the square part. Good luck.